in the Navy, but my eyes weren't good enough. And I got in the Army. It was amazing. The Army passed me, the Navy didn't.
When I was at Marquette, I was a senior then, and they picked the engineering college, and they offered 13 of us a free flight training to learn something about flying. And I jumped at. So I got in. Oh, I didn't get in the Navy then, but that was all government paid. It's called the PTP program, Pilot Training Program. And before we finished up and graduated, they sucked us into either the Air Force, the Navy, or some commercial flying. And we all picked the Navy, you know. I think we just
cover this bright spot on the
we seen just enough about the Navy, we just decided to like it. So we picked the Navy.
Aha, good choice.
Yeah, I thought it was a good choice. And then Mike and I used to cross each other in the Pacific. He was with the Air Transport Command, and I was with the Naval Air Transport Service.
Well, what did Fran say about all this? I mean, were you already married?
Fran, no,
he wasn't married.
I wasn't married, you know.
Aha.
I didn't get married till I got to Pensacola, and you couldn't get married by the Navy regulations at that time. You could not get married until you got your commission. That was a firm. And so I went down to the Navy there in Pensacola, and I know one of our guys didn't think Navy would stick them because the Japs had already attacked Pearl Harbor. So he gets his wife or his girlfriend down. He got married at a local church. He had to take his wife down somewhere. But that's
Yeah, we used to meet. Tom would be flying the same route and I would, and we'd meet not too often, but several times we met in one of the small islands. And the Navy had regular dishes and silverware in a mess, you know. Of course, the Army had the goddamn trays, so we'd always eat lunch in the Navy.
yes.
Wait, and did you?
We had no idea what his schedule was like. We didn't even know our own schedule at that time.
No, we didn't have a schedule.
But we both ended up in Okinawa. I remember that.
Oh yeah, what was the story about evacuating the wounded by airplane from Okinawa?
Yeah, both of us did that.
Okinawa hadn't been secured with planes, and the east half that we went in, it was protected by our own Navy. In fact, when I flew in there, the Navy was sent out an escort for 100 miles from Okinawa and stayed with. They protected. They fly until we got into land because we had no guns on our.
Yeah.
And then when we take off with the litter cases, we stayed there long enough to gas up, and the ambulances would bring the cases, and we get them strapped down in the back, and we take off about 3 or 4 hours at the maximum, and then we'd head on back, and we'd pick up an escort. As soon as we took off the runway, the Navy would send us 3 escorts, and they'd fly us 100 miles, so we were out of any danger zone.
Ah.
We had to bring our own gasoline in when we went to Okinawa.
I was surprised to hear you say
You guys
that.
had gasoline in it.
We had, sure, because they drive a
We had to bring our
gas
own.
truck up when we. In fact, that picture, you don't have a picture. I got a picture in the bedroom there.
They had a big Army hospital on Okinawa too, and we would pick up it's a town same as I. We would pick up the wounded and bring them here to California. And then one time.
You mean to Guam?
At Guam.
You bring them to Guam.
No, we would bring them to California.
No.
Remember the time you and
I thought
Fran.
you said that it was Guam. Out of Okinawa, you didn't fly from Okinawa to California, did you?
Not in one hop,
No,
no.
you went to Guam, didn't you? We always said the hospital we landed at was at Guam.
No, it was at Okinawa, where we picked up the wounded.
Yeah,
But where did you take them?
But when you took off of Okinawa with the litters, with the patients in the plane,
Yeah,
where would you fly to?
California.
Yeah, well, we flew back to Guam.
Oh,
'cause
no. Oh.
Oh, you-
Don't you remember the time that you and Fran and Pat and I had dinner at the
hotel
of the
there,
mark.
Top of the mark, yeah.
And you told me, I saw in the paper yesterday where one of you guys got in trouble, and that was the plane that I was on, and we were full of cast cases.
Oh, yeah, I somehow.
But that was from Hawaii. You told me that you
that-
took
it
off
was.
from Hawaii.
But you landed at Hawaii, you couldn't go from Okinawa to the States.
Oh,
That,
yeah, you'd have to land. It's
that
a
was,
long haul.
So-
you'd land at several.
You started in Okinawa,
Yeah.
went to Hawaii.
Well, Hawaii or with the John, I don't know, there's a couple of stops in there.
Johnson Island.
Johnson Island, yeah. And then we flew from Hawaii to Travis Air Force. It wasn't called Travis Air Force Base, it was Fairfield Suisun, and that's where the big hospital was.
And we had the emergency hospital in Guambatagani, and these guys I
Yeah.
had couldn't last if I had to fly another 10 hours. They were in really rough shape.
But the thing was, Tom had seen this article in the paper about this plane, and he said, "I see one of your guys got in trouble," and that was a plane I was on.
Sorry,
We
we
lost 2 engines coming from Hawaii to the United States, and we had all cast cases on board. You know, we had nurses and everything.
They would have gone down fast.
They'd have gone down mighty fast if we had landed on. They had 2 ships, remember, between Hawaii and here, anchored.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
There were emergency ships,
Yeah,
and we argued whether we should land alongside of them or try to make it. But one of the nurses had a wedding plan, and
That made the difference.
she talked us into going all the way.
A few of the passengers might have died in the meantime, but
She's a cute little nurse.
When you took, these hops, did you take the patients off the plane?
No,
No, you just stopped for refueling
yeah.
and then hopped to another place and refueled.
But Tom said that they took him to Guam because they were.
But no, I understood, but
That's
for
the
you.
opposite direction, isn't it?
Guam?
Guam, wasn't
Oh,
that
no.
between Okinawa and Japan?
No.
No, it's just pretty much south of Okinawa. We don't fly over Japan.
No, but I mean, you were going in the wrong direction. Instead of going to the United States, you were going to Guam. Is that the wrong direction?
No. No.
No?
No. I have a
What I was thinking
question.
was, if to go to Guam from Okinawa, you'd be
go to
going
where?
backwards to Guam.
Oh, Guam, yeah, no, it's kind of like
Okay.
flying south, due south instead of going back east.
Because that's where the bombers took off to bomb Japan with the atomic bomb. They took off from Guam.
Tinian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tinian. They took off from Tinian.
From what?
The atomic bomb crew took off from Tinian.
Tinian? No, I think they took off from Guam, didn't
It was
they?
the Air Force, I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is after they landed at Guam, they said that that day that the Air Force had dropped the big bomb on Hiroshima.
Yeah,
Oh.
they left from Guam.
Talk about when you heard that the Japanese had surrendered.
Where were you?
Where were you?
Well, I don't know.
VJ Day.
When we heard that the Roosevelt died, everybody wondered who the hell had that Truman. Nobody knew who Truman was, you know.
I
He
think
was
I
vice
was probably in
president.
Honolulu by then, BR-11 headquarters was in Honolulu. I think I was back in Honolulu. I was having an operation on my nose. I had bumped up against the ceiling. We had some turbulence. And I caught a drake across one of those radios up there. And when I got back to Guam, they sent me to the doctor. They had to go up there and, straighten out the, what do they call it, the
The bone or the septum.
septum, yeah.
But, I mean, you certainly knew that if we had to invade Japan, it would make a huge difference.
Oh, yeah, we knew that, and that's why we were really
That's
happy.
why Truman approved the atomic
Yeah,
bombs to
that's-
save lives. Save our lives. They ruined a lot of Japanese lives.
Yeah.
So,
How soon after VJ Day did you get out and,
I was the first one in line.
Didn't take me long. I don't remember really how.
You stayed in longer than I did, didn't
Well,
you?
I was in until after Christmas, December, and then I got my terminal leave from December to January. So the bomb was dropped in October of '44.
August,
I got out
August.
in a couple of months. I know. I got out.
September, October. Yeah, okay.
And where was Fran and where was Pat? When you came back? Were they here in California? Were they?
Yeah, Pat and I were living in Berkeley when we were based at Hamilton Field. when we were based in Long Beach, we lived in Long Beach.
So at the end of the war, she was in
She was in
Berkeley.
Berkeley, right.
And
Then
what
we went
about,
back to live with Mother. And Eddie was there, and Eddie wasn't very nice.
that wasn't very patriotic.
I'm trying to remember where,
Bill was up in the back bedroom drunk all the time.
that's why I'm trying to remember a friend and I,
Hot,
oh, I know. We went out to, guy rented us.
That leg,
Rented us a cottage.
yeah.
It was winter time, so he was glad to.
McGuanago,
Little Mosquito?
there's a mosquito, but.
Yeah, and we rented a cottage out there. Of course, we had two girls there, Karen and Bernie.
Oh, yeah.
And we rented that cottage. It was a nice place out there. We stayed out there up until the summer. Then the old landlord decided he should get summer rates, and we were getting big homes for I think $30 or $40 a month during the winter. And he decided to kick the rent up and double or triple. And I was working for Kyle. I went to work for Kyle at South Milwaukee, and they had a lawyer working for me. And the lawyer said, "Let me write this folks a letter." We stayed there another 3 months at the old rate. So,
Well, was that after you were married? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You dated a girl from the Cyrus area, the daughter of what the hell was the name? Whore?
when I was at Marquette, yeah, she was an engineer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
her name was Whore.
I think it was.
They live down the street from us.
What?
They live down the street from us.
Did they?
They're down on
you
Fairview,
dated
yeah.
a whore? I mean,
He did.
I didn't mean a whore.
He did one of the whores.
That was their name.
Yeah, yeah.
HOAR.
That's the
He
one.
dated her.
that's the one,
Baker.
Baker.
Yeah.
She married them.
She married a baker.
She was
Oh.
weird.
You are so lucky.
Oh, that was just a curiosity for me having a woman.
Well, she was a curiosity.
Having a woman engineer.
As a woman engineer.
Yeah. Yeah, she was a smart woman.
So
but-
I didn't make any steady dating out of it at all. Like,
So-
she might not have accepted.
Did you get your college degree from Marquette before?
Yes.
Before the war before the war started?
2 weeks before, after I got my degree in engineering, 2 weeks later, we already had these 13 other, 12 other guys. We already had our engineering degrees. We had our orders in one hand and engineering degree in the other. We had received our orders, oh gosh, about a month before we graduated. So we all ended up.
So the Navy got trained pilots.
Yeah, we were already, most of us, we all had the same program. We all had at least 200 hours of flying. And, you know, at that time, that was a lot of flying.
200 hours, yeah.
It was all in small planes, though, and then none of this fighter craft stuff in there. So the Navy was glad to get us, and they put us on instructing duty immediately.
Yeah, that's, Bonnie said the Navy got trained pilots
Yeah.
out of that program, right?
That's why they had the program, I'm sure. In fact, that's why we had to sign up before we left it. Oh, I know.
Your degree is from Marquette, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a hooker in it maybe about 3 or 4 months before we graduated. They offered us an advanced course in aerobatics in Waco. And the Air Force, the Navy, or commercial airlines in South America. So we all took the Navy. But it was, I said, it was a hooker to it. And we wanted to get into this aerobatics because that looked like some pretty nice flying, which we did.
Aha. And then how long were you in the Navy before Pearl Harbor?
Well, we went to Pensacola I'd say about July of 44. And
41.
41. And Pearl Harbor was at December.
December.
We were already instructing at Pensacola. We had a lot of students down there waiting to get their wings. So,
What kind of planes did you use for instruction?
the same ones we were flying them. They were Stearmans or biplanes. Well, you know, fundamental planes was.
SNJs too.
Well, yeah, that was for.
That's the one you took me.
Yeah, that was for instrument flying. But that was about and we got checked out in really all the aircraft, Navy aircraft, in case we'd end up in the fleet, we had to be able to learn how to fly.
They had a I don't know where I saw it, but they had a cartoon of you going to the plane with your,
Parachute?
no, you were all ready for bed. You had your pajamas on and in other words, they were cartooning you as soon as you got on the plane, you went to bed and then the co-pilot did all the flying.
Well, that must have been Nats.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, yeah.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
a magazine of some kind that Nats put out.
Yeah,
You showed it to me, I recall.
He blanked that one.
When the combat pilots would put their missions in, 25 missions or something like that, they would we were ordered by being transferred to ATC to fly non-combat. And that's what we got, was a non-combat graduate as one of our pilots. And he was flying us into Manila. And they only had one runway in Manila at that time. And he used that runway, but he used up so much runway by the time he put it down. I think he had his brakes on when he put it down. He blew a tire, and we went off to the
Off the boonies, eh?
yeah, and it cracked up really.
You're lucky it didn't catch fire.
We had a plane load of USO troopers, mostly Jewish people from New York, and we had to push them out through the emergency hatch to get them out of the airplane. And I pushed one big fat one out and strained my shoulder.
You pushed him over.
You know, when I went over the wing, the emergency
Oh,
exit, we just pushed them out of the wing.
There was something in the morning paper about these slides off, pushing them out of, on American Airlines. They had an article this morning that it failed.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
They've said there's been several of them that have
The chute that was
Yeah,
down
the
here.
chute.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't automatically inflate. So they're.
So when they jumped out, they went a long ways down to the ground.
Oh, that's a long way up to-
Bumpy ride.
I remember one time in a commercial airliner, we lost on a DC-3 in the States, sir. We lost one engine, so we landed at some of the two-bit airport. But you can't taxi with one engine in a DC-3.
Yeah.
So we had to unload all the baggage and everything out on the end of the runway and ferry it back over to the.
Yeah, the DC-3 being a tail.
It is a tail thing, and
Tail thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
one
the
of
only
those
way you could steer it with your engines. We only had one engine. You couldn't. You just go around in circles. Yeah.
Can you think of the scariest moment you had during the war?
I can't think of any really.
Are you afraid of heights?
I think I mentioned the other day that losing one engine out of four coming out of out of Guam, St. Johnson Island. Yeah, lost one of four, and we had to come back. That's about the bad conditions I can recall. But we still had three good engines, and we were carrying just blood plasma in a refrigerated cabin back there. And the fact that we had just taken off, a half hour before, we had too much gas aboard to come back and land immediately because there's a maximum landing weight. We exceeded that because of all the gas. So with one engine out, which was no problem, we just had to fly around Johnson Island at a high altitude for about an hour and a half at a full rich mixture to get rid of a lot of gas. And then they told us that we're finally cleared to land. We landed there, and it took about 3 hours for them to get the oil leak repaired. And they took all the blood out of there. Even for 3 hours, they had to make sure they had a big refrigeration unit right there at the airport, at the field.